Hey guys, I'm Adam86 and welcome back to the channel. Obviously, I think everyone knows by now, it's just been announced that Granit Xhaka is leaving Arsenal officially. He's joining Bundesliga club Bayer Leverkusen, I think on a £21.5 million deal. And we're just going to talk about it a bit. There's a fair bit I wanted to talk about, and I didn't really want to do a whole Twitter thread on it. So I thought I'd just do a video. So yeah, obviously, you know, it's been known for a while that he's likely to leave. I think even before the last season ended, there was strong rumours that he was looking to leave. He was looking to go back to the Bundesliga, and obviously I think we originally agreed a deal about £15 million for him with Leverkusen, but all of a sudden we had rumours that Arsenal were asking for more. They wanted at least 20 million for him. Which is fair enough. I'm not quite sure what the change around in the price tag was, but I'm happy with it, to be honest with you. I mean, if we're gonna, I mean, he's an integral part of our team. For the last at least 2 years, he's been really crucial to what Arteta's been trying to achieve at the club, and 50 million's just not enough for him. I'm sick of Arsenal selling their players for pennies. So a 21, I think it's a 21.5 million deal. It's pretty decent, to be honest, for a 30-year-old. I think he's coming towards the end of his contract. Um, I think he deserved to leave. I think he deserved to make the choice, and he deserved to for the club to allow that to happen. Um, And yeah, so I'm okay with it. I mean, I'm sad. I'm really sad. Obviously, he's such a character off the field as well as on the field. He's the leader. He's a bit fiery at times, but you kind of need that. You don't want to lose cannons, but you want players to step up for their teammates. You want them to kind of be passionate, and that's what, if anything else, Granit Xhaka is passionate. So I'm sad, but at the end of the day, we've signed Declan Rice, we've signed Kyle Havertz. We've got, I think, stronger in the midfield position. We are a little bit still, a little bit weaker backup wise. I think we'll probably will end up going back in for another midfielder later in the summer. But and he's a leader as well. I mean, there's stories about him, um, whipping the other players, especially the younger players, into shape. Keeping the younger players on track, and making sure he's very work orientated. He's very example orientated, and I think off the field, in the locker room, I think his impact is huge, and I think it's something that we will miss for a while. I think the only thing that gives me comfort is the fact that we've got Declan Rice, who is blatantly a leader. He's got all the characteristics that Xhaka has, so I think that in at least in the locker room kind of sense, Declan Rice kind of makes up for that. So I am quite sad. I mean, it's like he said in his statement. He's been here for 7 years. He signed in 2016. 2016, by the way, feels like an absolute age away. It feels like such a long time ago. I got this jersey when he first signed. Obviously, I used to have a thing where when we sign a new player, I'll get the name on the back. I might still do that. I've got Xhaka on the back of this one, but anyway. Um, and yeah, I mean, this jersey in particular is quite meaningful to me. Obviously, I wore that to the FA Cup final. I think it was the one against Aston Villa. It might be the one at Chelsea. I can't remember. But I wore it out to the my very first Arsenal Australia Perth game. I met some friends there for the first time, way back in I think it was 2017 now actually. And I wore that jersey, and it's meaningful to me anyway. But I just wanted to talk about Granit Xhaka. Obviously, everyone knows the story. Granit Xhaka has had a very tumultuous time at Arsenal. Let's just put it that way. Obviously, signing him coincided with us falling out of the Champions League. I'm pretty sure we had the Champions League the year that we signed him, and then we fell out of it the summer after we signed him, and we've only just managed to get back into it. So it's kind of, in that kind of sense, it's kind of like a really nice arc. He's kind of stayed with us while we didn't have Champions League, and he's kind of brought us back into it. I kind of feel sorry that he's not going to play for us in the Champions League. That's one of the things that makes me sad the most. But he got us back there. He helped get us back there, and whatever people say about the title run last year, getting back into the Champions League was the foundation objective for last season. We more than nailed that. I mean, we secured Champions League football about 2 months before the end of the season. So, in that sense, we did quite well in last season. It would have been nice to win the league for him, but it is what it is. So going back to his history, obviously everyone knows. Um, for a long time he was a walking, talking red card. I think he got booked a lot of times because it was him. Someone saw that he did the foul and it's like, yeah, okay, that's a straight red. For some reason he was targeted. I'm not quite sure why. I think all Arsenal players are targeted by referees, to be honest with you. But he was especially targeted. There's a whole meme thing out there now where if a player fouls another foul, if a player fouls another player, everyone's reaction, even non-Arsenal fans, are like, "Oh, if Granit Xhaka had done that, he would have been deported." That kind of reaction. That's not born from nothing. That's he was targeted, and it'll be very interesting in a few years to have referees go, "Oh, actually, yeah, we were told to kind of clamp down on him in particular." Um, yeah, so disciplinary record was a bit harsh for us, but having said that, I think in the last 2 seasons, I think he only got one red card. He didn't get a single red card last season, which was awesome. He's really matured in that sense. He's still fiery. I mean, he did have a go at the Spurs players and coaches after the game because Richarlison was allowed to kind of push and shove and punch Ramsdale after the game and didn't get any kind of punishment for it, and Xhaka took exemption to that, which was well within his rights to do so. Arteta had to go and grab him though, which is funny, but yeah, disciplinary record started off pretty bad, but I think it ended off pretty well, obviously, towards the end. But everyone knows the game, everyone knows the time where, he was substituted off at home and he was booed because he didn't have a particularly good game. We didn't have a good season that season, and he took the brunt of the blame for it for some reason. And you got a lot of abuse online. There are people out online that just masquerade as fans of football that will just DM players and with all kind of horrific, words and stuff. And he got the brunt of it. I think his daughter got a death threat. I mean, some kind of sick thing like that. People are human. The players are human. At some point, it's going to affect them, and I think it all kind of exploded, only because I think he was being booed by the Arsenal fans, but because he was taking a long time to get off the pitch. It was a game that we kind of needed to win. We needed him to get off so that the player can come back on, so his subs can come on, and we could try and win the game. It was taking a long time, and he reacted. And it was unfortunate. Obviously, he told the fans F off and kind of threw the armbands. He was captain at the time. He was club captain at the time. Threw the armband off and then kind of stormed off. And, that was such a ugly, ugly moment. At the time, you couldn't be an Arsenal fan and not be pissed off with that. And, it pissed everyone off. It pissed me off. You're a captain, you should hold yourself high. But looking back and the amount of abuse he was getting online as well, I think he's offline now. I don't think. He has an Instagram account, but I don't think he allows comments or messages or anything like that. So it kind of all exploded. There's a whole load of things going on. It kind of exploded, and obviously he was. I think he missed a few games. Obviously the captaincy was taken off him. Odegaard ended up having it, but he was about to leave as well. He wanted to go to Roma. Jose Mourinho wanted him. He was 2 feet out the door of bringing him. Arteta. I mean, there's gonna be loads of stories of Arteta. Even if Arteta left right now, there'll still be stories about Arteta and his effect on the players that we've had here. And Arteta managed to talk him around. It's quite surprising at the time. We thought, okay, you know what? If you want to leave, you can leave. That's fine. It is what it is. I think a lot of Arsenal fans, including myself, was okay with him going to Roma way back when, and we were a little bit surprised. Uh, Arteta was like, "I want you to stay." Apparently, um, and yeah, it was announced that he was going to stay. I can't remember whether he renewed his contract. I don't think he did. I think he might have added another year onto his contract. Um, but he ended up staying, and everyone. And I was like, I don't know if it's a good idea. Maybe it was the right time for him to go. I was never one that was really like, I hate you. You should never play for Arsenal again. I was more a case of, dude, you messed up. You shouldn't have reacted that way in public with the cameras on you. Um, it was a stupid thing to do, and he probably regrets it now. Um, and obviously, everyone now you know what caused that. You know what was going on behind the scenes. So um, yeah, but I was still a bit puzzled about him staying. I was like, if Arteta at the time, Arteta was still kind of unknown. You weren't really sure what kind of coach he was going to be. Um, you know, some players have come out saying that he was brilliant, and he knows how to talk to you, and he's a really good coach. He's a genius and all that. It's only now that we've seen the All or Nothing documentary, and we've heard a lot more interviews with other players and things and other coaches that we know now that he's got a way of talking to players and connecting with them, similar to what Wenger was like when he was in his heyday. Um, he was able to cultivate a real relationship with the players, and it worked with Xhaka. He stayed, and he's had arguably, I think, in the last 2 seasons, ever since that kind of almost Roma move, he's been one of our best players. His discipline record's gone really, really in the positive. He scored a whole load of bangers. I mean, he scored a load of goals. He was scored in the last game he played for us. I think he scored twice. I think did he score a hat trick? I think he scored twice. I can't remember now. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Like, he stayed at Arsenal long enough to kind of repair the damage. I think that whole episode's gonna stay with the fans and with him. But I think in general, I think he loves Arsenal. He loves the club. He loves the fans as well. And the fans, I think, should love him as well. I mean, that's the essence of what Arsenal's like. We are a family. We are, a cohesive unit, and he was a big part of that. And like I said, he could have stayed this season and helped us in the Champions League, but I think he's ready to go now. He's ready to go back to Germany, and and put that kind of episode behind him. And at the very least, us fans and he can hold on to the good times. Last season was brilliant. Obviously we didn't win anything, but it feels like we did in a weird way. And we've people like the fans of other clubs don't understand. Like, oh, but he did this, he did that. Like, why are you thanking him? Why we don't understand why you love him? It's like, dude, you ain't been paying attention, really. I mean, a Chelsea fan, a Man United fan's not going to understand why we love Granit Xhaka, and whether you want him to go and you're okay with him going, or if you wanted him to stay, there are fans of Arsenal that want both. Um, every single Arsenal fan, like, has a positive view of Xhaka now, and it's because he worked hard. And he was an example on the pitch and off the pitch. He was a leader. He was a captain in all but name. One of the captains, anyway. We've got a few now in the squad, which is good. Um, and I think a lot, and he's doing his coaching badges as well. He's going to be a phenomenal coach. I think he's going to be a really good coach when his day comes. Um, and yeah, I mean, yeah, at the very least, he can look back on his time and go, you know what, that's a really good club. I really love that club, and he's going to be watching our games. He's going to be supporting us. He's going to be one of those players that leaves the club but still, is a huge fan of Arsenal. So I just want to do this video. I just want to explain my side of the story. Like, I love Granit Xhaka. I love when we signed him. Um, Even through the bad times, he was never a player that you can absolutely hate. I think he's just very. I learned very early on that he's just, he's got um, a passion. He's got a fire with him, and you know sometimes he's uncontrollable. Sometimes he'll do something he shouldn't do. But you never doubted his love for the club. You never doubted his love for his teammates and his passion for the Arsenal, and that's all you want at the end of the day. The trophies are great and all that, but you want your players to genuinely care. And I think he did. I think he did it the whole time. I think that's why he reacted on that day on that pitch, because he does care, and he probably didn't really understand why people were booing him, and you know, um, and treating him the way they were treating. Obviously, there was stuff from behind the scenes, but um, yeah, I mean, I love the guy. Like I said, I would have been happy with him staying, but I think we as a club and him have both turned a page now. I think a chapter's finished. We are now embarking on the next phase now, phase four, whatever Arteta calls it, where we're going to be challenging now for the league consistently, hopefully, and doing as much as we can in the Champions League. I don't expect us to do quite well in the Champions League this season, but I want us to at least get into the knockouts, um, and then we'll see how it goes. But I think he's turned a chapter as well. I think he wants to just go somewhere else, fresh start. Um, he's got a long contract with Leverkusen now, so that's secured um, his bank, I guess, for the next I think it's 4 or 5 years. So fair play to him. Like, he's gonna go and become one of the best players in the Bundesliga, no doubt whatsoever. He's gonna be a really good player for them. I hope it all works out for him. I hope he's happy over there, and then we can focus on us now and move on. But I just want to do this video. I really love the player. I probably haven't explained too much about why I love him and why he's a really good player for Arsenal, and I'm gonna miss him for Arsenal. But hopefully I have. Hopefully I kind of understand. But like I said, people from other clubs don't really understand why people like to banter fans, and they pick up on this. Well, why are you congratulating him when you wanted him out a couple of years ago? Well, dude, like, he could have quit. He could have gone right there and then. He could have gone in the cloud of thunder, but he didn't. He stayed, and he had the balls to stay, and not only stayed, but he complete turnaround. He's earned the love of every single Arsenal fan, in my opinion. Whether you understand it or not doesn't really matter. It just is. Like, he's a bad thing happened, and the fans and him have both kind of reconciled, and more than reconciled. Like I said, I think every fan should love him and have a place for him in former players that we still love, like Santi Cazorla, for example. I think he's up there with Santi Cazorla now. In terms of the former players that did brilliantly and did good, and played his heart out, and became a gunner, a gooner for life. And I think he'll come back at some point. Maybe once he's done in Germany, he'll come back and become a coach. I'd love to see that happen. But yeah, I don't want to ramble on too much longer, guys. I just wanted to do this video. I just want to say thanks, Granit Xhaka. Thanks for being an Arsenal player. Thanks for seeing us through arguably our worst ever period. It wasn't because of you, but you still took it on yourself to help us get back to where we should be. And fair play to you, man. You stayed when you could have left, and you did everything possible to kind of reconcile with the fans and the club, and you've earned your place as an Arsenal legend, in my opinion. I think if we'd won the league last season, I think we'd have to call him an Arsenal legend, but I think he's an Arsenal legend, the same way Santi Cazorla is, the same way Rosicky is as well. But yeah, I just want to say thank you, and good luck in Germany, good luck in Bundesliga. I think that league is lucky to have you, and do well, and hopefully you get to see you in the stands at the Emirates watching a game or two. That would be quite cool. So yeah, take it easy, and let me know in the comments, guys, what you think about Granit Xhaka. his career and with Arsenal, and we'll have a discussion in that. And yeah, take it easy, guys. I'll be back for another few videos in the near future, so keep your eye out for that. And yeah, I'll see you guys very soon. Adios.